What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. It's Tuesday. We down here. This week already seems like it's going fast, huh? That's crazy. It's what's today, the 7th? Oh, they need to get their sprinklers together, honey. Oh yeah, I'm down here a little bit earlier just because I know it doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter, because by the time you see it, it's way past the time that I actually record it. I just wanted to come down here and talk about a few things that's going on, trending topics, things are going on in the world. Somebody lost their hat. A little fedora. How did the full moon treat you guys? It's good. You guys up? Anybody insomnia? Anybody sleeping differently? How was that for you? Did everybody have a good full moon? All right. I wanted to come down here and talk about just a few things. I'm not gonna take too much of your time. Just wanted to give my, my opinion. Okay, Khaled. All right, so I'm trying to make sure I got my stuff together. I don't know how I feel. This feels weird. Okay. So let's talk. All right, so first let's get the white ladies out the way. Before that, let's pay these bills. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell twice in order to get notified whether we are premiering a video or whether a video has just been posted for consumption. Shout out to all the new subscribers and supporters. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. FYI, you are not always going to agree with me. Also, anything that I share, I've been sharing things that I like to, that I've been interested in. I don't know who it was. I think it was Kim and M. I think she posted, and I'm sorry, I assumed you were she. They posted a link because I asked for femininity channels. Baby, they posted a link and said, and it sent me to this woman's channel. Now, I shared it, but some of the language that she used in portions of the video, I don't necessarily agree with, right? So I want to tell you guys that when I'm sharing, like how I am, I don't expect you to be how I am, but I expect you to use reasoning when it comes to, Erica shared this. There's probably portions in here that she agrees with. I'm sure she's not agreeing with all of the things, right? All of the things. We all have a capacity to use reasoning, and I'm gonna talk about our capacity to use reasoning when I get to Kanye West. Okay. So let's get the white ladies out the way. Shout out to all the subscribers. Like I said, when I share stuff, understand, chew it and spit out the bones, honey. Chew it and spit out the bones. Everything I should not have to give a disclaimer as to, whether, some, not all. It's always some. It's never all. It's always some. That same thing you could take with information. So let's get the white ladies out the way. Amy Cooper has been charged with filing a false report to the 3rd degree. She's scheduled to go to court on October 14th. It is a misdemeanor, and she could end up a year in jail. You remember Amy Cooper is the woman who yelled or called the cops, basically put out a hit on Christian Cooper, is the bird watcher in Central Park, and she called the cops. I guess what her intentions were to basically use the cop as their, how white women do. They use 911 as customer service, like Rodney says. They call the cops and they use their guns instead of they know that the cop got a gun. So if any black person is out of line, I can call the cops and I can get that black person put right in line, right? So little Miss Amy Cooper, she got charged. Do I think that people, and now the prison abolitionists of our community is like, what use does it do to put her in jail? She's not going to go to jail. She's not going to go to jail. They're not going to put her in jail. Oh, God, the little white lady might go to jail for putting a hit out on a black person and using the cops to do her dirty work. Oh, my God. But I want to know, and I want to ask you guys, what do you think if you are one who doesn't, I'm still looking into prison abolitionist perspective, because I don't know what you're going to do with violent criminals. People who rape, people who commit crimes against children. I don't know what you're going to do with those people, because those people deserve to be put away. Murder under specific circumstances. If you're like a Centoya Brown and you murder your abuser, girl, go ahead and go. Bye, girl. Yeah, you've done the work. You've done the work. See you later, girl. You don't worry about it. No handcuffs. No, we're not going to put any handcuffs on you. You're good. But you know what I'm talking about. And then, and then people who commit crimes against children. I feel like there will always be children. So no one is ever going to be safe around someone who likes to commit crimes against children. Whatever type of crime that is, whether it's, I don't even have to go through it. So what do you guys think should be the proper punishment or consequence for a person who uses cops as their, customer service to call cops on black people in order to rectify regular civil, disagreements? What do you guys think that Amy Cooper's punishment should be? Let me know, because, some people are like, being in jail, that's not going to do any good. It's not going to change the fact, and none of that. Well, and that's true. It's not going to change the fact that other white women, as we can see across the country, Karen's gone wild. I like to refer to them as Trudy. But they they have this, they suffer from white psychosis that is, that is a symptom of the illusion of white supremacy. So they behave in a manner that really no person of color or black person can really behave. There's no way in the world that a black woman, can go to Target and start pulling merchandise off the shelf and not be tackled to the ground or something crazy. Her agency be violated. What do you think that Amy Cooper's punishment should be? Sorry guys, I didn't even bring any water. Let's move on to the next white lady. And speaking of crimes against children, Ghislaine Maxwell. They finally scooped her ass up in New Hampshire. Well, she in this house that was humongous, honey. They did an aerial view. I was like, okay, girl, you on the run and you running into palaces and shit, girl. That's cool. But they got her ass. And so my whole thing is, watch her, because we don't want her to accidentally die by suicide. You know what I'm saying? So watch her, keep her safe. And I hope that she doesn't go down protecting men and other women. I hope that she sings like a canary, and I hope they don't get to her before she can get her first note out. So we hope that she tells all the secrets, Jeffrey Epstein's secrets. I don't believe that Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Why, Erica? Why don't you believe he's dead? Because they deliberately showed them coming out of the hospital and him laying on a stretcher. That was deliberate for you to see, in order for you to now associate this man with being dead. And that's not what's happening. So he's being protected because he has video. He had running circuit television. What do they call CC? Closed circuit television. They had surveillance is the right word. Surveillance going throughout his home, and his home is consequently the actual biggest house in Manhattan. The biggest houses in Manhattan. And he had surveillance throughout the house. So whatever crimes were being committed have been captured on video. So we trying to figure out what's going on. So I hope Ghislaine is safe. I want her to be safe. I know she is a disgusting pig of a woman, but I want her to be kept safe. And I hope that Ghislaine, if you can hear this, girl, do not go down protecting these men, because honey, if you were the ringleader, Jeffrey Epstein would have sang like a bird on you, girl. So I know that he put in the little papers to keep you and any other co-conspirators safe from being charged with anything. But girl, no. Sing like a bird, girl. Sing like a bird. I don't know if you guys saw it. Angela Rye had a discussion with Will Smith yesterday about just, what's going on in the world. And he had some really interesting things to say. Unknowingly, we did not know what Angela shared, that Will has been something of a counselor to her. She calls him Willie Llama because he has helped her and during times of, crisis and in stress and breakups and things like that. He has helped her a lot of ways. So I don't know if we could see a theme here. I'm not saying nothing has ever happened. I'm not making the suggestion, but I'm saying in terms of seeking counsel from the Smiths, that is something that is more regular than we actually would like to admit or to believe. And they talked about the global response to Black Lives Matter. They talked about, I should probably put my stuff up here, how he learned not to be consumed by rage, and how showing the peaceful protest and putting that mirror up to the violence and terrorism that is inflicted on from these terrorist organizations that I like to refer to them as terrorist organizations, but y'all call them cops. He said that the peaceful protests and put up against their violence can show that all of these people around the globe are really standing with a movement, because they are tired of police brutality across the globe, around the globe, and they're tired of it, and everybody is tired of being treated like that. So it was a pretty good conversation, and you should go watch it. It was a good conversation. Will, I don't know, he looked tired or what. I'm sure he stays up late. He does drink a little bit, but his eyes were like kind of red. He's probably just tired or whatever. So yes, and I did finish, speaking of Will, I did finish watching August Alsina's emergency video. I don't know if I'm sleepy. I don't know what's going on, but she tried to have a little reefer this morning, but it's not what it is. I feel like tired, like I could go back and lay down. Maybe I'm down here just too early. That's what it is. The sun isn't in the right position, and it's just a different energy down here. But okay, anyways. But yeah, I finished watching it. It was very good, very insightful. You can see where he's coming from, see all the things that he's been through. I myself didn't follow August Alsina that closely. I didn't know a lot of the things that he shared about his father, his stepfather, and things like that. So he went to Jada for counseling, the way that Angela Rye goes to Will Smith for counsel. I did see clips of Terry Crews talking to Don Lemon last night without using adjectives to describe Terry Crews as a goddamn fool, and without calling him names like I just did. What do you guys think is the reason why he has this point of view? Do you share his point of view? Do you understand where he's coming from? What is it that what Terry Crews is saying? Because he's getting support from what he's saying. So I want to know do you guys agree with what Terry Crews said last night on CNN with Don Lemon? I don't know. I just felt like I don't understand. I feel like he's playing devil's advocate. Now, no, because devil's advocate really that really would suggest that you believe the opposite of what you're suggesting. You're just asking it to provoke thought. But I think that he really believes it. I think Terry Crews's next stop, and I'll be surprised if it's not, is Tommy Sotomayor. That's his next stop. Because that's the energy that you're giving me. Like, I don't know what's going on with Terry Crews. And you know, I was watching an interview with him, and was it Roland Martin? I don't remember. It was somebody. A lot of people are giving him a platform so he can actually, you know, talk, which I think is fair, because we holler and scream that we're not a monolith. So let's hear the different perspectives that these people have, and let's talk about these perspectives, and let's analyze where they're coming from, because I don't know what's going on with Terry Crews. I don't know what the motivation is, and he's saying like why he feels this way, and he doesn't want it he doesn't want, in the quest for equality, he doesn't want it to turn into another supremacist ideology. Okay. But then his rationale and reasoning behind that is off to me. It doesn't make much sense to me. So you guys go and watch Terry Crews with Don Lemon and see what you think about it, because it was a little strange. Dr. Dre and his wife are getting a divorce. She filed for divorce. Nicole, finally, girl. You finally out of there, girl. I guess you finally realize, like I said on that marriage boot camp, honey, they go from woman to woman to woman, and when you finally decide you tired of his shit, he gonna be Dr. Dre's gonna be in a relationship probably before the divorce is final. They just go from woman to woman to woman, and no matter how long it takes, he gonna be right there, whether it's emotional, physical, verbal, financial, whatever type of abuse that he can inflict on you. And then when you're tired of his shit, then he'll go to the next person. After you file divorce and you go on, he'll have another partner before the divorce is final. Kanye West announced that he was running for president, and everybody got up in arms. Everybody had an opinion about it. And this is what I was talking about reasoning, where I feel like as Black people, we are emotionally charged because of the things that we have gone through throughout history and generations. We do emotionally react quicker before we actually process it. And that's just something we're going to have to unlearn, because it doesn't benefit us. The emotional labor that we expend on things that don't require it at all, once you actually step back and analyze it, you're like, I don't even know what I was getting upset about. First and foremost, and I want to talk about Halle Berry. Kanye West would have to actually run as an independent. And there are only 6 states where he's missed the deadline: North Carolina, Texas, New York, Maine, New Mexico, and Indiana. And the last deadline was June 30th. The oldest one was March 3rd. And the last one he would have to have registered in order to be eligible to run for the president of the United States is June 30th. Now, like I was watching Rodney's video, the fact is, and you know, you guys, I always go with, you know, I always say there needs to be more requirements in order to run for the president of the United States. Being 35, being a citizen, and being a citizen for a certain length of time are the only 3 qualifications. My son corrected me yesterday because I was like, it's only 2. And he was like, no, if you are a citizen, you would have to have lived in the country for a specified amount of time. He corrected me. I was like, okay, child. Okay, son. And yeah, so you have to be in the United States for a certain amount of time, a U.S. citizen, and 35 years old. That's the problem right there. The problem is not somebody like Donald Trump saying, hey, I'm going to run for the president of the United States. Because you really need more qualifications in order to apply for a job at fucking McDonald's. That's a fact. You need more qualifications to be a barista than it is to run the goddamn country, this godforsaken shithole country. This is the shithole. Yeah, we really want to talk about it. So the fact is, when we react with this emotional response, like, oh my God, don't believe Kanye. He's going to take the votes away from Biden. He's no threat because, like I said online, Kanye, and y'all know how I feel about Kanye. Kanye hasn't read a book. He hasn't registered to vote. He has missed the deadline to vote. He is just another Gemini seeing what he could say, like Trump, like Azalea Banks, seeing what I could say to get an emotional reaction so that so I can put myself in position to feed off of the emotional response because I need that to fuel myself. That's why I didn't talk about it, because I was like, Kanye can't run for president. He's missed all the damn deadlines. So any response to Kanye running for president is just in vain. It's why are you even wasting the energy on that? He can't. He can't. Now, I know some people are like, this is 2020. We have seen stranger things. We have seen stranger things happen. But baby, he has missed all the deadlines. And if anybody they would block from trying to, they would not give any leniency, is a black man who has no experience, he is not even registered to vote. That's the crazy part. And here's Kim, enabling this behavior with retweeting what he said he's going to run for president, and she's retweeting it with an American flag. Y'all just enabling that crazy behavior instead of saying, baby, I understand you want to say that you're running for the president, but it's impossible for you to run for the president because you've missed all the appropriate deadlines. You would have to run as an independent, and you've missed all the deadlines. Plus, you ain't registered to vote. I mean, I really think one of the qualifications they should add on to what's required to run for the president is some type of, political. You'd have to have like a political experience for at least 5 years, whether you're in the Senate, you're Congress, whatever, honey, working at the post office, some type of civic duty, okay, under the government. You have to work in the government for at least 5 years, something. Military experience with an honorable discharge, I think, is another one. You cannot be the commander-in-chief and have dodged the draft. And you cannot say you care about the military when we have found bones in the back lots of Fort Hood of young ladies. Bones because they have been violated sexually in the military. You can't tell me you care about the military. I don't even want to get on that. I don't even want to get on Vanessa Guillen. I hope I'm pronouncing the young lady's name right. But she was killed. Military. You see anybody saying all lives matter? I don't see them. I don't see all lives matter. I don't see respect the flag and respect the military. I don't see them. Y'all see it? Because I don't hear them. I don't hear them. So Kanye West cannot run for president. So whatever emotional reaction that you had to that, save it and spend it somewhere else, because you're not going to get anything in return after you spend your emotional energy on Kanye West. You're not going to get nothing in return because it's nothing. And that's just what it is. Did I finish talking about Dr. Dre? I hope she takes all your shit. More than half. I really do. Dr. Dre, always strikes me as a person who is grappling with their masculinity and is angry and has an underlying, like a fuse that's just ready to go off within his self. He always comes off, even in speaking very calmly, he comes off as very angry, and he exaggerates his performance of masculinity. There's something going on with Dr. Dre, and I don't know if the anger is because, I was watching a video where the woman was like, a lot of these men, they would actually prefer to be with men, and they treat women like shit because of it, because society is, creating these limitations and confinements that say you have to be with a woman and you have to perform masculinity in this angry, irrational way, while touting yourself as the most logical, rational of the species. But I always feel like there's an underlying anger, and it comes from his exaggeration and his performance of masculinity. Just watch him. He can be talking in the most calm voice. He could be talking about something, laughing about something. Dr. Dre is just like, that's how short his fuse is to flip the hell out. I believe he does have anger issues, and I hope that he wasn't physically abusing or any kind of abuse. So she has to, obviously she's leaving for a reason, whatever irreconcilable differences, whatever that, denotes. You don't know what it could be or what, but she's a lawyer. And according to some reports, she has a female attorney representing her. So you going down. Moving on to some more black men of value. 50 Cent and Lil Wayne were having a conversation on Lil Wayne's podcast where 50 Cent made some comments about angry black women being angry because they prefer in their preferences, they prefer exotic, fresh off the boat women. And all I have to say is they fetishize all women. You are nothing. You are nothing but a playground with holes that they can stick their penises in. Whether she looks exotic, she got the hair, the Mariah Carey hair, or whether she got hair like Lupita Nyong'o, honey. They don't care. If a woman is an object. They see value in the object. That's the reason why they take care of their cars so much. It's so funny. It's a trip, because I always think about that. My father, in my mother's yearbook, high school yearbook, he writes all of these wonderful words and things to say, expressing, his love for her and all this other stuff. But at the end, he puts, P.S. I love you more than my car. I should have known then. I should have known then. I love you. And I used to laugh at that, not realizing, damn, he just objectified you. Like, I love you more than my car, and then went on to physically abuse her. Baby, the fact that, like, when we say divest, and it spans, and Nico, is that her name? Not a Nico. That's the exotic one. Tori, the one with the nappy hair, she got on the damn internet and said she is disappointed in them. From spanning all socioeconomic levels. I have heard from the brokest nigga sleeping on a motherfucker's couch say that he prefers light skin and long hair. So it spans all socioeconomic levels. They don't see the value in their own because they have whatever resentments they have against the women that they're around, whatever it is. Whatever it is, it's this proximity to whiteness. Then he said, isn't that something you would like to explore? It's just, you're a playground, like I said, with holes where they can stick their dicks. You ever been to a playground? They got all those fun little games, and over here you can turn the thing like this, and then you can go over here and you can swing on this, and then you can go over here and hang upside down from here. It's a playground. It's a playground. And then there's ones where you could stick your holes. You could stick your dick in holes. That's all it is. They don't care about these women they fetishize. They don't care about you. They don't. They don't. They just don't. And the fact that, you have to say, these women are angry because I prefer in my preference. And a lot of your preferences are rooted in some white shit. Like I like to say, it's white shit. The idea of being closer to whiteness, you see the value. You don't see the value in your woman that you want to fetishize her. You choose to fetishize other women. And then other women, they take that in because their worthiness is determined on whether a man desires them or not. That's why there's women in those comments defending them. Because at the end of the day, their goal, and they center their worthiness around the attention of a man. So they want to, that's just his preference. That's just his preference. In your preference, if you have to degrade a whole group of people that you actually were birthed from, and Lil Wayne, you sitting up there with your black ass daughter laughing because Lil Wayne is with an exotic. We're gonna reduce you to an object the same way they reduce you to an object. He's with an exotic. He got an exotic over there. Lamborghini. What's the other exotic? What's the other exotic? Mar-a-Lago. Lamborghini. That's a Lamborghini. You a Porsche. And there's the woman. She's sitting right there in the next parking stall. They got your exotic car right there. They got your exotic food in the next parking stall, and you got you an exotic woman with holes just ready to be filled up with an ain't shit nigga's dick. Yeah. So that's another place where you don't want to spend your emotional energy on that, because at the end of the day, they've reduced the woman to an object. They've reduced you to an object. They don't see value. It's only them that they've centered their existence around. It's only them, and they're just being men according to society. A man will be a man. So that's their excuse. Their excuse is embedded in their existence. And here you are. You're upset. Tori, is that her name? Kevin Hart's first wife that was with him during his struggle. I'm glad she's been able to profit off of her pain and the shit that she had to go through with Kevin Hart. I'm glad she's able to sit in a $110,000 car and doesn't have to worry. I applaud that black woman. Get the fucking money and bounce, girl. Just like Nicole, they keep because Nicole is light skinned, she's not black, and all this other stuff. Another woman is profiting off non-black woman is profiting off the advancement of a black man. That lady is black. Nicole is black. I don't give a damn what anybody says, whether her complexion you don't see a black woman when you look at her. That's a black lady. Zoom in, okay? Get everything, bitch. Everything. I'm here half, more than half, 3/4, however much you need. Take the money. I'm glad Tori can sit in a $110,000 car and let Lil Wayne with his bald-headed ass, like, then I tell you, the hairline starts receding. They gotta drink Viagra shakes in the morning. Yeah. Them type of niggas, you got a lot of nerve, and the only reason somebody is with you. Now, I've heard things about Lil Wayne being very smart. Lauren London has a child with Lil Wayne. I've heard that Lil Wayne intellectually, you can have a great conversation with him. But when men get around other men, they really don't have really deep. Some have the really deep conversations. They talk about objectifying women, and you're gonna sit up there from the worst type of nigga. Like 50 Cent doesn't even show his child who is black, who looks black, brown skinned son. He favors the one who looks Asian over the dark skin, brown skin, whatever skin color son. He favors the one who looks exotic over his other child. Go look at his children and see, don't he treat the one who's black like shit? I'm not lying. Okay, go look. You can go look for yourself. You can Google for yourself. All right. What else we got to talk about? Are we done talking? 35 minutes. Oh, I did want to talk about Halle Berry. Halle Berry was set to play a trans man in a movie. And she said that that's what I wanted to experience. And I understand and study and explore. It's really important to me to tell stories. And that's a woman. That's a female story. It changes to a man. But I want to understand the why and how of that. I want to get into it. So, baby, she caught hellfire, okay? There are plenty of trans men who can play trans men and actually embody the story of what it's like to transition than Halle Berry. You will never have the range to actually embody what it is to actually go through that transition. You will never understand it. You can be the greatest actress, but there's going to be something off about your performance because you cannot embody that, and you can't. I know she's an actress. I know she could do great things, but this ain't the role that you want to try it on, okay? She comes back and says, over the weekend, I had an opportunity to discuss my consideration of an upcoming role as a transgender man, and I'd like to apologize for those remarks. As a cisgender woman, I now understand that I should not have considered this role and that the transgender community should undeniably have the opportunity to tell their own stories. I am grateful for the guidance and critical conversation over the past few days, and I will continue to listen, educate. Let me repeat that. And I will continue to listen, educate, and learn from my mistakes. I vow to be an ally in using my voice to promote better representation on screen, both in front and behind the camera. Now, let me tell you something. That's how you apologize, girl. Shout out to Halle Berry for actually stepping outside of herself, because actors, they can be a little egotistical, right? They can be a little egotistical and be like, you know, well, I deserve this. I'm an actor. This is my craft. I should be able to play whatever role I want to step into. But in that gift of your ability to act, because that is a gift that not everybody can do, right? And that's clear. We have a clear understanding that that is a gift, a divine gift, to be able to portray and embody a whole nother character, okay? We're not going to take that away, but to understand and step out of that ego and to say, you know what? This might not be the right role for me right now. Right? Maybe I should watch how it's done. Maybe I should sit back and be quiet and learn. Right? And I'm glad that she was able to step out of her ego and actually apologize, one, for her actions, two, for her intentions, and then come back and say, and I'm going to educate myself and continue to be an ally, to speak up, because this was like, you know, because Scarlett Johansson, she in what is it, Ghost, what was that movie called? You know what I'm talking about. She played an Asian, a Korean person. Was it Japanese, or I think it was Korean? Girl, you are a whole white woman, and you can't be that great of an actress. And we have to move away from people who are not that, portraying. I don't want a white person portraying a black person. There's enough black people to do that. I don't need a straight person playing the role of a gay person, like what's his name? Jamal's character on Insecure. That man is straight. There are plenty of gay actors who could have embodied that character perfectly. Why would you take the opportunity from someone who is actually gay and give it to a you don't even belong. You're not even, it just doesn't make sense to me. There's too many people who can actually step into that role. And I know there are probably going to be people like, that's not fair. She should be able to do that. But we have to get out of that. This is a new world. It's a whole new world. And the only thing constant is change. The only way that we're going to grow is by changing and coming into an understanding that the world isn't just so black and white. The world isn't just so male, female. The world isn't just so pink and blue. It's just not. And there are people in between that binary that exist and I don't know why I'm getting emotional, and they can be given the jobs and the opportunity and the health care and the freedom to exist in who they are without people on the outside of that telling them, you can't do this, you shouldn't be this, you need to be quiet, you don't need to be so outward about, you don't need to be too gay, or you can't be too whatever it is to keep you in the confinements that they have created in their own mind. There are plenty of people to embody that, and if you are on the outside in the binaries looking in, and you need to sit down and just listen and learn, because these people exist. And if you don't understand how that is not riddled in white supremacy, I don't understand how other way you can put it, because black people just walk around existing, and white people are always coming up to them, telling them how to behave, be quiet, don't be too black, don't talk like this, behave, be respectable, don't be too loud, don't be too aggressive. If you don't understand how you're taking that same energy and applying it to LGBTQ folk, I don't have anything else to tell you. I just don't. And there's a young man who, yesterday on Madison's show, who, she played a clip of him talking about transgender women and how some people are uncomfortable with their attractions to transgender women, and in that they don't want transgender women to exist, because they don't understand how to process their attraction to transgender women. And it's on my Instagram page, and you can go look at his other videos. He is a cisgender black man, and I don't know what his sexual orientation is, but he is an educator in women gender studies. So you're not going to be able to have a conversation, an ignorant ass emotional conversation with him because of the way that you feel, right? There's studies and things that have supported this. I don't even want to get into it. You can go on my IG and you can look it up. I think we've talked about a lot today. It's been 42 something minutes. I probably will not edit this video. Let's get down in the comments wherever you want to. Of course, we have a conversation. Let's be respectful in the comments. If your opinion is not that of mine, you do not have to say, well, look at you and your glasses, you ugly bitch, and da-da-da-da. You can say, hey, Erica, I don't agree with that statement that you made. I don't agree with your opinion about. All right, so be mindful. Do not be in the comments. That's another thing. You can attack the argument. Do not attack the person. Period. That's just it. Like, people get in the comments, you fat bitch and all this other stuff. Y'all be like, Eric, I can't believe that. I delete and hold a lot of comments for review, because this is my space and I get to curate the energy in my space. So if you come in with some fucked up energy, right? Because if we're not always vibrating high every single day, right? So you might come through the room and you might have some fucked up energy. If you bring that fucked up energy and I'm reading it and it's harmful and it can be harmful, I'm going to delete it. And that's just what it is. This is my space. Shout out to Tom. It's my space and I get to curate my community. You got it? You can agree, you can disagree, you can have a healthy discourse without ad hominem. You do not have to attack the person, attack the argument, okay? Period. Let's get down in the comments with that said. and have a conversation. I talked about a lot of things. We talked about a lot of things. So let's get down in the comments. You guys take care of each other. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. That's it. I think that's it. Yep, that's it, guys. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Get down in the comments. Let's have a conversation, a healthy conversation. We could disagree. Like, what do you guys think about the Halle Berry thing? Do you think, like, without being insensitive to a whole entire community, what do you believe? Do you think that it was okay for her to step outside and say, hey, I don't want to take on that role? What do you think about Terry Crews's, like, without attacking Terry Crews, what do you think about the statements that he's making, right? Also with 50 Cent and Lil Wayne. Now, it's hard not to go after Lil Wayne because he's so goddamn unattractive. But like I said, I've heard that he is a smart person. But when men get around men, some men get around men, he's laughing and giggling. You got a whole black ass daughter sitting at home, and you laughing that black women get angry because you want a woman fresh off the boat that you want to explore. Sounds like some colonist shit. If you want to colonizer shit, if you want to really break it down. All right, guys, let's get down in the comments. Let me get on. I'm done earlier than normal today because I got down here earlier. You guys take care of each other. Protect your energy. Again, get down in the comments. Here I am saying, you know, that's usually when we end. But, you know, like Farrakhan, we might talk another 20 minutes. Shout out to brother minister. I do want to break down his speech. It was 3 hours, so we might have to break that down, you know, almost 3 hours. So I'm gonna have to break it down, and that might be a video at a later date. It's gonna be timeless because what he's talking about, he's been talking about for his whole life. He has dedicated his life to the upliftment of black people. Yes, he has said some things in his life, in his journey, that you might not agree with today. But at the end of the day, his goal has always been about the upliftment and removing this black inferiority complex that so many black people have. You feel inferior. That's why you go out and you're looking for an exotic person to make you feel like you're doing something different. That's an inferiority, right? That's another. Okay. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Peace.